Welcome into another episode of Sports Zone. It is a chilly day here in Denton, Texas, but it's always warm right here in the Sports Zone studios. Cuddle up next to the fire, grab your cup of coffee, because for the next 30 minutes, we are going to catch you up on a week full of sports. First up, guys, let's start with this North Texas football team. They became bowl eligible this past weekend against the Golden Eagles of Southern Miss. Now, they are bowl eligible for the third consecutive time. That's just the second time in school history that's been done. We got Garen, Jack up here at the desk. Guys, what did you see in this North Texas game?
Well, definitely, they were coming off a rough game against UTEP 2 weeks ago. You know, it was a really sloppy performance, and you know, Seth Luttrell really was not the happiest camper after that game. So you know, we came in. It was really a wet weekend. You didn't really know how the game would come out. We didn't know if it would be sloppy, if we'd run, pass. But you know, totally exceeded expectations. You know, we got the offense going, the defense held strong, and you know, we beat a very capable Southern Miss team pretty badly.
Yeah, the defense did a really good job. One player I really wanted to point out was obviously the superstar of the defense, E.J. Agia, 12 tackles, 2 sacks. He's leading the team right now, 6.5 sacks so far on the year. This guy's on pace to be a top 10 pass rusher, and he is an NFL-ready linebacker. He can rush the passer. You can put him out there at the outside linebacker position, just like what they do with Von Miller and other guys like that. And another person that has really surprised me was DeAndre Torrey finally being able to get involved. And it was a tough loss after losing Lauren Easley. Nick Smith was supposed to be the man to step up. Then Lauren Easley really stepped up. And the guy that got forgotten in all of that mess was DeAndre Torrey. And this guy went off. 17 carries, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. And when you think about it, that all came in the second half. That guy ended the game on a high note with scoring that last, I believe it was like 20 seconds or something. But he sealed the deal. He made a statement that he is here to stay, and he's the lead back.
So with this, you talked about the UTEP game. Kind of coming out of that game, there was a loss to Louisiana Tech. We played really sloppily in El Paso. Coming out of that, we take this game. It was really close at halftime, pulling away in the second half. A nice 30-7 win. Going forward, do you think this team, you have as much positive as you did before they lost the game? Or are you kind of on the fence still?
It's just one of those where, you know, you don't want to go. We don't know if it's a back and forth type of thing where we play good one week and we don't play good this week. You know, hopefully we can continue this pace because we're playing probably the biggest game of the year next week or this week against UAB. So, you know, we really hope we continue this hot streak we're on, because if we don't, UAB absolutely, I mean, they destroyed La Tech 28-7 when they played them. So, you know, if we beat UAB, we're in first in CUSA. So, you know, we really have to come out and perform against UAB and not play like we did against UTEP.
Let's transition over to that UAB game. North Texas second in Conference USA right now in rushing defense. Well, the best rushing offense is UAB, so it's going to be strength on strength. This North Texas team has been so impressive. This is a UAB team. They have the top pass defense and top total defense in the conference. So let's go into that UAB game. What do you see North Texas doing against a good Alabama-Birmingham team?
Well, obviously they're going to key in on the run. That's first and foremost for this team to win the game. Also, being able to get E.J. Agia involved quite a bit. Also, Nate Brooks being able to become that lockdown corner once again. He really got off to a hot start, finished it off over at Arkansas, and then he kind of fizzled off. But he needs to get back on track, and being able to shut down this UAB offense, and especially the running game, which is what scares me. It's because, you know, when you're in a championship type game, that's when the defense is going to win you the games. But when it's regular season, it gets a little scary. We saw Alabama do that a couple years back with Leonard Fournette when LSU was all Leonard Fournette. Now UAB, their running backs are what runs their show. So if North Texas is able to stop those guys back there, I think you can write down a W.
Exactly. North Texas has always been an offensive team, and we most likely always will be. You know, we'll get points. It's going to come down to if we can get stops. You know, going into the Southern Miss game, they had one of the top-ranked rush defenses in the country. You know, they held Neverton Auburn at that time to 2.7 yards per carry, and then we go in, we rush over 165 yards on them and 3 touchdowns. So, you know, if you can get, Mason Fine's going to put up big numbers. He always will. He most likely always will continue to. So, you know, if they can continue to just keep the offense going, if you said E.J. Agia can keep, if the defense can continue to push the pocket, make them scramble, stop the run, you know, we will have a very strong chance for UAB.
I'm going to throw in a hot take real quick. I talked to you guys a little bit about this before the show, but do y'all think that Seth Luttrell is going to be the next Tom Herman? I'm seeing a lot of resemblance.
It's a big question. I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, I love Seth Luttrell. The first thing, I knew he'd be a good coach the first time he tweeted during the bowl season that he loves it, and North Texas wasn't there. He said this would be the last time we wouldn't be there.
He's been right so far.
He's been right. 3 years in a row he's been there. So
we're going bowling.
We're going bowling. So hopefully he doesn't jump ship. But if Texas calls, if Alabama, I'm not saying they would.
Nick Saban's on the hot seat.
Texas Tech
calls,
Coach Bro may be on his way out, and I think
Bro.
they may be giving Seth Luttrell a call.
So hopefully, if they do give him the call, hopefully, he hangs up.
Yeah.
Don't accept any, I don't know what the Lubbock area code
Exactly.
is. But don't look there. It'll definitely be, and I think it's amazing that this team is 6-1, and I didn't even think about the fact, we're going to a bowl game, because it was just kind of expected. And I think just from what it was 2 years ago, the 1-11, losing to Portland State, and now to get to that 6th win, and that's not a milestone for this team. It's not something we're excited about. But we'll see. Great matchup this weekend. First team in scoring offense for North Texas. They're playing the top scoring defense in Conference USA. They face a very tough test against UAB. 6:30 p.m. You can watch it on BN Sports if you're lucky enough to have BN Sports. I don't know who actually has it. But up next, there's a new passing yards leader in the NFL. We're going to tell you where he ranks among the all-time greats right here on Sports Zone.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. Since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Oh, emojis. I thought the conversation just got dumber.
Ugh, internet trolls. Just ignore them.
I like you just the way you are.
I believe in you. She's a hugger. Give her a squeeze. Help up the hand. Ah, there you go.
Thanks, mate.
You're killing it, Zane!
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Well, as you can see, just a week ago, this is Drew Brees passing Peyton Manning for the most passing yards in NFL history. As you can see there, the big-time catch. And, I mean, how about NFL history? To do it on a scoring play, to do it at home in New Orleans, you shut down the entire game. The NFL, they didn't even have like a certified banner. They just gave him like a little sheet of paper. It was still all cool. The teammates celebrating there. A great scene in New Orleans. All these accolades for Drew Brees. He's a Super Bowl MVP. I've got a list of them right here. I think if I listed them all, the block would be over. So I'll keep it at Super Bowl MVP, AP Offensive Player of the Year. With him now passing Peyton Manning for the all-time passing yards. Obviously, he's decorated in the statistical categories, but some have been saying he's a little underrated among NFL analysts. Do you guys think Drew Brees is an underrated quarterback?
Okay, a little underrated. First of all, in my opinion, I think he's the most underrated player in NFL history. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, every time I talk to people, they always say, oh, he's my first pick in fantasy because he's like a guaranteed 40 points. It's like ridiculous. But look at this. Passing yards, he's first. Passing completions, he's first. And passing touchdowns, he's fourth. And the only person in front of him that's still playing is Brady, and he's like only 3 touchdowns ahead of him. So I'm looking at it. I think Breeze is probably going to pass Brady, and he'll eventually probably get first place. I think he's only 30 touchdowns behind first place. So I think he's going to eventually do that. Look, he's only 6 foot, and I think that's why people really underrate him. And before he came into the NFL, they looked at his shoulder and said, okay, you're probably not going to throw the ball again. So the miracle that he finally came back and is able to throw the way he is, I don't know why he's underrated. Maybe because he's in New Orleans. Maybe he's not as controversial as Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. Maybe he's not he doesn't have the face of a quarterback that they want. But in my opinion, I think he is truly the most underrated player in NFL history.
For me, I feel like between people that actually watch football regularly, he's not really underrated. But as far as the casual fan, he might be a little underrated because they don't see him as much as we do.
Yeah.
We know what Drew Brees is going to do. Like you said, we put him in fantasy every week because we know he's going to put up numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really see Drew Brees as underrated. We know what he is, but I think there's a lot more other good quarterbacks that may be the reason he gets overshadowed sometimes. Not to say that he's not as good as those quarterbacks. There's just a lot of other faces in more visible places than Drew Brees in New Orleans right now. You have Tom Brady in New England, and you have Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. That's pretty much the most historic franchise in football. So that may be the reason some people may see him as overlooked or underrated. I don't see him as underrated, though. I think he's a pretty good quarterback, one of the best of all time.
Do you think part of the whole underrated factor is it's been, 9 years since he's won a Super Bowl? And I'm not saying he needs to go win another one because New Orleans had been terrible for so long, and what he brought that city, especially after the hurricane, all of that. But do you think maybe a lack of playoff success since then has maybe hurt Drew Brees?
Okay, here's the thing. He should have won that game against the Vikings last year. But because of the Minneapolis miracle where the safety decided to play hero, he decided to do that crazy play. I don't know why he did that. Okay, but Drew Brees has consistently shown that he is always doing great. I get it. The NFC South is kind of a joke. Cam is very inconsistent.
It's not always a joke. Most years.
Most of the time it is because Matt Ryan's having one good year, then the next year he's utter garbage, right? So I just feel that because you said that, we expect him to do good, that kind of underrates his success because you kind of forget that, that's just Drew being Drew. You kind of forget how unbelievable he is. That effect that a 6 foot player who's he barely could play in the NFL when he first started, and then he got traded by San Diego. Lawrence, LT said that if he stayed in San Diego, they would have won Super Bowls.
Yeah, I think they would have been a pretty good team. But another thing is when you look at Drew Brees compared to everybody else, I feel like with the numbers and everything, it's not just numbers that you have to look at. You also have to look at playoff success and championships. You can't look at just one thing of each of those. And when you put those together, I think that's where some people might see him as underrated because he only has the one Super Bowl win, and it was like you said 9 years ago. But he does have all the numbers. It kind of be like a Dan Marino situation where he has all the numbers, but not a lot of success.
But the thing is, he has just as good numbers as Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers hasn't won a Super Bowl in a long time. I mean, since he's won that Super Bowl, he's I believe 5-6 since playoffs, and people claim he's the greatest of all time. So I don't get how you can look at Drew and be like, no, he's barely even top 10, which is ridiculous.
Oh, Drew's top 10. I don't think he's top 5. He's not in my top 5 personally, but I think he's a top 10 quarterback. He's probably one of the best 10 quarterbacks of all time.
Speaking of all time, I like you, bro. That was an amazing segue. You might be sitting in the hosting chair next week. We'll see. All-time rank. Let's go. This is a sports show, so we have to have some type of ranking segment. Let's start ranking quarterbacks. You said he ranks in your top 5, maybe.
He's probably 6 for me.
Where's he in your?
He's right at
ranking?
5 for me.
Who's ahead of him?
So here's the thing. First, I got Tom Brady. That's
married to Giselle.
Yeah, that's the one thing you like about Brady. No, Tom is first for me. Then I got Joe Montana. Then I have Aaron Rodgers. Then I have Peyton Manning. Then I got Drew Brees. And just at 6, I have Brett Favre.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. I like that one. For 1, I had Peyton Manning. 2, Brett Favre. That's kind of 3, Troy Aikman. 4, Aaron Rodgers. And 5.
You have Troy Aikman number 3?
Troy Aikman number 3.
What? No.
Yes,
no.
I'm sorry. I'm a Cowboy fan. I grew up.
I am
Troy
too,
Aikman.
but I'm realistic.
I happen to like Troy Aikman. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry about that. But I also have Brett Favre in there. Do you see Brett Favre as that much better than Troy Aikman?
I see him as the interception machine. That's what I think of Brett
But that's
Favre.
just the way Brett plays the game.
But that's a terrible way to play the game.
People like that, though.
No, people don't like. Yeah, I mean the opponents like it.
Hey,
It works. Throwing interceptions.
Did it not work? It
What
was
did
exciting
he
to
won
watch.
1 Super Bowl.
All
Congratulations.
right. Calm down.
You
calm
have
down.
Troy Aikman. I'm
You got-
disgusted by
Yes,
you
I
right
have
now.
Troy Aikman in there. As a Cowboy fan, you should be ashamed of yourself.
What?
All right,
He's
all
not
right,
even the
well,
best Cowboys quarterback.
All right, it's cold outside, but it's very hot right here in the middle. Enjoy Drew Brees while we can have him. Enjoy Troy Aikman, Brett Favre, whatever other quarterback you like. But we can also enjoy the NBA season, which tips off tonight. A look back at the preseason and a look at the games coming up tonight. Next on Sports Zone.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet. Oh,
How's your hair? Is it pretty? Daddy. It's pretty. Maybe honestly,
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Well, the NBA season tips off tonight with a doubleheader featuring the Philadelphia 76ers and Boston taking on the Celtics. And after that one, you can see the Oklahoma City Thunder take on the defending champion Golden State Warriors, a.k.a. the Monstars in the new Space Jam movie. That was a good one. With the season starting in just a couple hours, we've had a good look now at the young talent in the preseason. Guys like Luka Doncic in the league, Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton. Ayton? That's right. That's how you say his name. We'll get it right. If you're in the playoffs, we'll get your name right. What did you see from the young guys in the preseason?
I really like the way Luka Doncic is playing his game. Especially, he has a lot of confidence right now. It's like he's seeing the floor. It's really slowing down. You think about a lot of rookies say, the game's really speeded up. For him, it looks like it's slowed down. It's like, oh, I can do this. I've been doing this.
A lot of people in Dallas just ecstatic about him.
Oh, yeah.
I think I was looking at Mavs tickets and they went up about $10 since the preseason game started. What did you see in the preseason?
For me, it was DeAndre Ayton. This guy was picked #1, and he's showing why. He's getting about 20 and 10 every single night. I like Doncic as well, but for a while I was unsure if Doncic deserved to be #1, but I think Ayton really showed why he was the top pick. He was dominating inside. He looks like he's been a pro for years, and I think he's ready for the NBA.
So all these preseason, all these young guys, all these teams are having fun. I want to sidetrack for a little bit. One team's not having a fun preseason. That's the San Antonio Spurs. I don't know if you guys. We had Lonnie Walker got hurt.
I'm saying.
It was like, okay, who's Lonnie Walker? And then we had we lost our main guy, DeJounte Murray, torn ACL. He's out for the year. It's okay. Derek White will he's out for 8 weeks. Do you guys think teams in the preseason, because everyone plays everybody, LeBron was playing in the preseason. Do you think teams will stop playing their main guys during the preseason?
I don't think so, because I think as a basketball player, you have to get into that basketball shape. You have to run up and down the court and be defended and be blocked out and go for rebounds. Like, you have to get back into form, because with practice, it's different. You're scrimmaging, you're kind of joking around, but you need that game speed and experience.
What did you see from do you think they should play?
I think the basketball season is like a marathon. Like runners, these guys have to train. They have to get ready. They have to get into a rhythm. You can't just start LeBron in the regular season. You need some preseason games to get into that rhythm, especially when you have new teammates. You have to start building a chemistry together.
I'm going to say don't play anybody, okay, San Antonio? Maybe don't play them until like December or so. Whatever. It's almost baseball season again after the postseason ends. Let's transition now. Obviously, 2 big games tonight. 4 teams we expect to be in the playoffs. What's your guys' predictions for the year? Who do you see winning the West? Who do you see winning the East?
Well, for the West, obviously, you talked about it, the Monstars, Golden State, 5 All-Stars. It's not fair.
Maybe we should ask who's the runner-up in the West.
It's kind of a dogfight, but I would like to see Houston there. I really think Houston can do it. Melo's the X factor, and I think if he comes down to earth a little bit and understands his role in this entire his role in this scheme, they could really click. They could do some stuff. And then in the East, I think the Celtics might be 1 if everybody stays healthy, and then I would say the Sixers might be 2.
For me, in the West, 1 and 2 are locked with the Warriors and the Rockets. My hot take is that I like the Jazz in 3rd place. They were dominating on the defensive end. Hear me out. They were dominating on the defensive end that second half of the season when they got Rudy Gobert back. I think they're going to continue that this season. Donovan Mitchell's only going to improve. I think they're going to be a 50-win-plus team in the West.
So you think
I don't think it's a bad take.
Derek Favors and Ricky Rubio. I don't see.
Ricky Rubio had some nice games. Before he got hurt in the playoffs last year, he had some nice games.
Look, I don't see the Jazz. I think people are overrating the Jazz. Please don't get me wrong. Who do you like more than the Jazz? I think the Thunder are better, addition by subtraction. Because remember, Roberson was hurt for half the year. And he can't shoot, but maybe he can, but probably won't.
I think the big thing for the Thunder is Westbrook is hurt right now. If he can get back quickly, they can definitely take 3. Definitely. But I think if he stays out, the longer and longer he stays out, the farther they're going to dip down the standings.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Who do you see in the East, Caleb?
I like Boston. 2nd place is where it gets iffy for me. It's between Toronto and Philadelphia. It's really going to depend on if Kawhi wants to be in Toronto or not. If he wants to be there, they can definitely take 2nd, and I think they can even beat Boston. But if he doesn't want to be, then Philly's got all those young guys. They can definitely be 2nd place.
Yeah. I could see the Raptors definitely competing in the East. Let's switch over. Everybody's been talking about it. There was the big-time preseason game. Had better ratings than most of the NBA games last year between the Lakers and the Warriors. I'm not sure how LeBron's not playing on opening night. What do you guys think about the Lakers this year? Are they going to compete? Neither of you guys listed them in your top 2 in the West. Where do you see the Lakers falling?
I think they might go between the 3 and 5 range, maybe get about 48 to 50 wins. And the key is Brandon Ingram. If Brandon Ingram pops like I think he can, like I know he can, he looked really good in the preseason. He looked really good against the Warriors. If he gets to the 22, 21 points per game, I think honestly they might push for that 3rd or 4th seed.
Yeah, I don't like him as much as Utah, but I do think they can get 3. You can't sleep on LeBron James. This guy can do pretty much anything with any amount of talent. Can definitely get them to the 3 seed. Even if they're the 6 or 7 seed in the playoffs, I think they can do anything.
He's throwing that Utah pick in. He's trying to sell us on the Jazz.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Very quickly, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. Who's MVP? Who's taking it home this year?
I think LeBron. You see, with all those young guys, he can carry him.
One word, MVP.
Anthony Davis.
Oh, that's 2 words. Yeah. I was trying to get you to say Kawhi.
Bro.
Can't wait for the games tonight. Also can't wait to watch some postseason baseball tonight. The Astros are on right now. We'll give you the score next on Sports Zone.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Well, the Astros and the Red Sox are all tied up at 1 game apiece in the American League Championship Series. The series has now shifted down to Houston, where the teams are currently in action as we speak. We got Houston boy Kyle. We got Ashley Pickle, homecoming court nominee Ashley Pickle. Get out and vote. I got you with the endorsement. I'm going to tell you the Astros score. Don't be mad. It's 2-0 Red Sox right now. They just played the top half of the inning. Red Sox jumping out to the 2-run lead. What have you seen from this series so far?
I've seen great baseball. That's one thing. It's been a great series so far. You know, it's been back and forth. Now we're out in Minute Maid Park for the Astros. We got Dallas Keuchel on the mound right now. So I'm very excited. You know, Dallas Keuchel has a 3.28 ERA so far this season, 48 strikeouts through 46 innings pitched in his postseason
his
career.
ERA just went up in the top half of the inning.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. You know, he struggles early on. That's what he is. He's a hitter's pitcher. You know, he's not going to have the velocity that Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander have, but he's going to make the Red Sox put the ball in play, and he has great control. The control makes up for all of the low velocity that he has. I think that he's going to give a little bit of runs early, which I suspected, but I think the bats are going to come alive. George Springer, Jose Altuve, and Alex Bregman all hit back-to-back-to-back home runs off this guy, Nathan Eovaldi, that's pitching right now for the Red Sox earlier this season. Back-to-back-to-back. You heard it. So I think we're going to be able to hit this guy later on, maybe 4th, 5th inning, and I think we're going to be able to take it with our closing pitching. We have Roberto Osuna, who's got a 0 ERA so far this season through 2 innings pitched. And we have Ryan Presley, who we got before the trade deadline for 3 innings pitched, and he has a 0 ERA. So I think we're nails in the bullpen, and I think we're going to be able to hold the Red Sox.
That's the other thing. The Astros are facing off against a right-handed pitcher today, and historically they're not, or over this whole season, they haven't been very good with the right-handed pitchers. So I kind of expected them to struggle early on too. I think that them being able to take that first game against the Red Sox, you know, up at their home field, that was huge for Houston looking on to this. When you get into their next 3 games being at home with the possibility to close out a series, I think that bodes really well in their favor too.
I think it was crazy in Game 2. The Red Sox won it. David Price struggled early on, but it was the first time a team's ever won a game in a postseason that he's started in. I mean, it's crazy. This guy's amazing in the regular season, and just for him going forward. So do you see the Astros taking this series from here on out?
I think that they probably will. Obviously, they're going to have to get over that little bit of a pitching struggle. They've gotten lucky, though. The Red Sox, I mean, they haven't had the best pitching per se going into this. Their relievers did really well in that second game. That's really what helped them out, and that's what David Price said after the game is, you know, it wasn't just about him. He struggled a little bit and then got better as the night went on. But I think that having them with the 3 games at home really does play in their favor. You know, they were world champions last year. They're coming back with that same mindset. The city of Houston is completely bought in. Most likely, I would probably go Red Sox pulling this out and making it to the World Series again.
What do you see?
Yeah, no, I see the Astros getting this in 6, actually. I see us winning this game. Maybe Charlie Morton on the mound tomorrow. I think he's going to struggle a little bit. I think the Red Sox win that one. And then we have JV on the mound Game 5 and Garrett Cole making up for those 4 earned runs he gave up in that Game 2 and Game 6. And I think we're going to take it in 6 in Boston. That's what I think for the Astros coming up. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. We got the hits. We got the bats. They might not come alive early, but the Astros are late inning hitters. You know, they get their runs in the 8th inning. They get their runs in the 9th inning. So that's why it's great baseball to see, and stay tuned because the Astros are coming. Trust me.
I saw Travis Scott this weekend, so I'm all about Astro World right now.
Yeah, Mo City. Shout out to Mo City. That's where I'm from.
I'll take Houston in this series. Let's switch over to the National League Championship Series. Brewers won Game 1, 6-5. The Dodgers scored 4 runs in the 7th and 8th inning to steal a 4-3 Game 2. Of course, last night the Brewers blanked the Dodgers. 2-1 Brew Crew. You see Milwaukee going to the World Series?
Oh, the beer drinkers, man. They have won their last 9 out of 10 games. This team is on a hot streak right now. They haven't been to a World Series since '82. So I mean, the whole city of Milwaukee, however many people are there, you know, if they're obviously they've got something to buy into. I think that the big shutout would really help them. So
we don't have time for your prediction.
It's okay.
Unfortunately.
No,
We'll assume you have the Astros winning the World Series. That's all we really need to know. But that is all the time we have today. Thank you for all the analysts for joining us today, making it through the cold weather. Thanks to everybody behind the scenes. Make sure to follow us on Twitter right here below at NT Sports Zone. Check out our YouTube. I think I got that right. NTTV Sports for past episodes and future live streams. Don't forget that we are Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Enjoy NBA opening night and MLB postseason action. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak, and I appreciated it very much.